Hello and welcome to a brand new video for the channel here today, ladies and gentlemen. Today in this video, I thought that it would be fun if we did something a little bit different unlike the last video. Today I want to do a bit of a ranking, but not really a ranking. I want to kind of mix things up a bit. Instead of just taking random albums or artists and stuff that's out there and whatnot, I figured we'd change things up today and do what I have in my collection. Because I'm trying to be different. Joking aside, I wanted to just do this just for fun, and I figured this could be a pretty fun video idea. So to not waste any more time, let's go ahead and get started with my favorite rock albums from my collection that I have. And this is not going to be a huge amount of all of them. This isn't even a big amount because these are the ones that I have at the moment. And so this video will probably end up being pretty short, but let's just have some fun while we're at it, alright? So to start off, we'll start with rock albums that I have that are from the 70s, and we'll go to our way to the 80s of rock albums that I have that are my all-time favorite in my collection. And one to start off with that is a very iconic rock album that is probably one of my favorite live albums at that, is probably the album Kiss Alive. This album is a fantastic album in so many ways. Not only was this album that really was the one that launched Kiss's entire career in the 70s, but this one is what really showed people what Kiss was all about back in the 70s, is that having Kiss in a live concert and that live sound of theirs and how they can really draw an audience with their theatrics and whatnot is what really put them on the map. They already had a number of albums out at the time in the 70s, but when this came out, this is what really blew them up onto the scene. This live album here, and it makes sense as to why. This live album is freaking fantastic. All of their banger songs on both two discs on this album, it's awesome. Like, so many songs on this album are amazing. Like Come On and Love Me, Parasite, and some of these other songs, like, you know, these songs, they're pretty decent off the albums that they came from in the 70s, but with this album, them playing it live with Ace Frehley's epic lead guitar, Paul Stanley's vocals and stuff, it all sounds fantastic here because of the live raw sound of it. It just sounds amazing, and this is truly it is probably my absolute favorite live album of all time, and that's why it's one of my favorite albums that I own in my rock and roll collection. So we'll go ahead and set that off to the side, and we'll move on to the next one that we have next. Up next is one that is a very iconic album in the terms of rock and metal scene, being Black Sabbath's Paranoid. This album, I don't even think I need to even explain this album here. This album changed rock and roll forever in 1970. This album, with its iconic songs that are very well loved to this very day, like Paranoid and Iron Man, those are the two most iconic songs. War Pigs as well, and a ton of other songs from this album too, like Fairies Wear Boots. This album has a lot of classic songs on here, Paranoid and Iron Man being the two most iconic ones if you was to asking people out there if you know a rock and roll song. The song Iron Man back in 2020 was how I even found Black Sabbath because of the movie Iron Man when I first got into Marvel all those years ago back in early 2020. Thanks to that movie, I managed to find Iron Man and listen to Paranoid and the rest of the album too. This album here is really a good one. Sure, I don't listen to a lot of other Black Sabbath stuff, mainly because, like, I listen to some of their other songs, but this album here is one I listen to the most. And apparently, upon further discovery from a friend of mine, the Planet Cavern song, apparently Pantera did a cover of it. I had no idea because I'm not really a big Pantera fan, but this album here is iconic, and everyone just about here knows this album so much, and everyone probably knows this album now because with the recording of this video not too long ago, Ozzy Osbourne has unfortunately passed away, and it has really changed the rock scene a lot ever since his passing, but may he rest in peace now. Anyways, that's one of my other favorite rock albums that I own in my collection. With that one, we have one last 70s rock album that we have here, and this one was actually a pretty tough decision to think of, and that one is the original Van Halen album from 1978. This album is, I don't even know if I can put it into words how much I freaking love this album. Van Halen 1 is truly a rock and roll masterpiece. Like, there is nothing wrong with this album at all. Like, this album, I've listened to it, I don't think I can tell you how many times I've listened to this album so much, because it has so many constantly back-to-back bangers on here. For some reason I can barely see the back on this, but whatever. But I'll try to read, you really got me covered. Ain't Talking About Love, I'm the One, Jamie's Crying, Atomic Punk, Little Dreamer, Feel Your Love Tonight, Ice Cream Man. So many classic songs on this album. Like, you can't deny it. And also the legendary guitarist Eddie Van Halen too. This is where Van Halen got their iconic sound as well. of them being in the rock and roll world. Everything sounds great, from the backup vocals from the instrument players to David Lee Roth. Questionable vocals. David Lee Roth, not the greatest singer out there. I mean, people have said it before, like people that's worked with him. People say that David Lee Roth isn't like the greatest singer of all time, but mainly it's the ad-libs and everything else that David Lee Roth has, and also his stage presence when they perform live, is what makes Van Halen so cool. Again, David Lee Roth, not the craziest singer out there when it comes to the live world, if you go back and watch old Van Halen footage, but for what it is, Van Halen still rocks because David Lee Roth still manages to pull it off somehow, and dang, this is such a good album. And I love the other Van Halen albums too, I have them as well. I have Van Halen 2, Women and Children First, 1984. I don't really care for their early to mid 80s stuff that much because those albums are kind of mediocre in my opinion, but this album right here is one I listen to all the time, front to back. Women and Children First and Van Halen 2 and 1984. Those songs I kind of skip a few, but this one, no skips. I can listen to this one front to back all the time. It's such a dang good album, and I think many people out there can also agree. So that's why this one here is one of my favorites in my rock and roll collection that I have. Now, that's about it for the 70s. I have a few other ones from the 70s. Actually, I don't think I did well. I have a couple of other CDs from artists that are from the 70s, like Aerosmith, but that's a greatest hits compilation and no actual albums of them. I still get to find Aerosmith albums, so maybe one day we can maybe revisit this whole thing and do like a part 2 of more albums that I love from Van Halen 2. Also Queen, I don't own any actual Queen albums. I just own their greatest hits stuff, so it's going to be kind of hard. And also Van Halen 2, it's not really a favorite. So we're going to go ahead and move on. So now moving on to, without a doubt, the greatest era of rock and roll, the 1980s. We're going to start this list off strong in 1981. And in 1981 is the first album for one of the most notorious rock bands of the 1980s, being Motley Crue's Too Fast for Love. Now, I was debating for a little bit on whether or not I wanted to put this one on here, but I love this album so much. It's got so many classics on here. Like, you got so many. You got Live Wire, Public Enemy No. 1, Take Me to the Top, Too Fast for Love, On with the Show, and so many other songs on here. Too Fast for Love is without a doubt one of the most iconic albums, at least for the Motley Crue point. Motley Crue is without a doubt, if you don't know who Motley Crue is from the 80s, like, come on now, what rock have you been living under? Like, my gosh, dude, come on! Motley Crue is just such a dang good band. This album is kind of a bit mixed nowadays because of its sound and also its less heavy sound that they would get later on. This one, even the band has said it themselves, this one is more of their punk era that they wanted to go with, but it's still got some really rocking tunes. I mean, Live Wire is on here. Live Wire is such a good song, like, come on! Overall, this album, not too much to say because, again, there isn't too much with this album. It was the band's first album, and it didn't even launch them at all with much success. So, of course, this one, it's just, you know, it just exists and is mainly there for the die-hard fans. But again, Too Fast for Love is a fantastic album, and I love it so much. And my dad loves it so much, that's how I found this album. So, yeah, there you go. Too Fast for Love. Fantastic album. Vocals are great on here. Mick Mars' guitar playing is good. Tommy Lee's drums and Nikki Sixx's bass, while you can barely hear it, it still makes this album a really good listen. And this one, much like with this one, I listen to this one, I can listen to this one front to back. Even the taken off tracks as well, they're on Spotify. Like, this album is truly fantastic, and that's why it's among one of my favorites. Now, moving on to another band around the same time Motley Crue got started. We're going to go ahead and move on to what is without a doubt the greatest rock band to ever exist in the world of rock and roll, and that is Metallica's Kill 'Em All. Kill 'Em All is without a doubt one of my favorite rock and roll albums of all time. Kill 'Em All is genuinely just a masterpiece in almost every way. Sure, it's rough, like I said in the previous video, much like with Van Halen 1 and Metallica's Kill 'Em All. These two albums right here may be, again, just rough and kind of scratchy a bit, but my gosh, I love it so much. It's so cool. I don't care if it doesn't have the best quality or the best mixing or James sounds like he's far away from the microphone. I don't freaking care. It's so awesome. Much like with Van Halen 1, why I love this one so much and why I love this one is because both of them sound like a live concert, and that's so cool to me, and I love it so much because, like, oh my gosh, like, so many good songs on here. Like Hit the Lights, The Four Horsemen, without a doubt the best song on this album, Seek and Destroy, Whiplash, Phantom Lord, Jump in the Fire, Pulling Teeth, Motor Breath, like all these songs, Metal Militia, No Remorse, and I think I might have said them all, Motor Breath, Anesthesia 2, the bass solo, like all these songs on here are outstanding. Like, they all sound great. The guitar solos are amazing. I mean, sure, yes, they're Dave Mustaine, who wrote every Metallica song, but man, dude, these are just so cool, and I don't know, bro. The Metallica's Kill 'Em All is so dang good, man. I freaking love it so much, and that's why it's one of my favorites in my rock and roll collection. Okay, so moving on to the next one. This is gonna be 4 in a row, and you probably know what I'm about to do and what I'm about to say. But the next albums I want to cover that's gonna go from the rest of the 80s and into the early 90s is Metallica's Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, and the Black Album, which as of recording this video, today is the 34th birthday of the Black Album. So happy birthday, Black Album. But I'm putting the rest of the albums here, man. I love all of these so much. These are all so good. Ride the Lightning's cool, crisp sound. Master of Puppets, just the best album of the entire thing. Justice for All as well, like, Justice for All, it's so good. The Black Album, like, oh sure, it's overrated, I don't care. It's got so many good songs on it, like, bro, oh my gosh, it's so good. Like, dude, I'm sorry, I know, like, most of these other artists I said, oh, it's not my favorites, but, dude, I just have to put all of Metallica's, because I listen to all of Metallica's, like, 80s stuff. Oh, sorry, camera. I listen to all of Metallica's 80s stuff, and, like, the Black Album and such, so much, man. Like, sure, if I had, like, Reload and stuff, I probably wouldn't have it here, but these albums, man, I love them so much. Like, bro, I listen to these albums so much, and I love that I have all the Metallica albums in my collection. I have all of the Motley Crue ones, and Motley Crue is also one of my favorite rock bands, but, man, Metallica is just better than Motley Crue. I'm sorry, it's just so awesome, man. Like, all these albums, like, I gotta put them in here, alright? I love to talk about Metallica, but we can't spend the rest of the video talking about Metallica, alright? So we're gonna go ahead and move on to another classic album from the 80s. We're gonna go back a little bit now. So let's go back to the year 1987. Actually, I'll show off 2 albums from 1987 that have my rock band, just so we can... I'll show off 2 albums from 1987. Actually, I'll do y'all one better. I'll show off 3 albums from 1987. And we can get this ball rolling just a little bit more of albums that I really like from 1987, so we get the video moving along because we're starting to kind of drift a little bit. So, first album up from 1987 that I really love is Motley Crue's Girls, Girls, Girls. Girls, 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 this is Motley Crue's probably their second or third best album out there, because, like, Motley Crue, Girls, 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 this album is truly fantastic. Like, it's a really good album, man. Like, you got so many good songs in here, like Wild Side, of course, Girls, 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 Dancing on Glass, and, you know, you got Something for Nothing, You're All I Need, the sad song of the album, 5 Years Dead, and Nona. Like, you got so many good songs off Girls, 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 man. Like, Girls, 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 it's a classic Motley album, and it has to be here. One other album from 1987 that I have that we're going to put on here is the album Whitesnake from the band Whitesnake. This album is probably, without a doubt, one of my favorite albums from 1987 itself, because there is so many good songs on this album right here. I know it's kind of cracked, but it came this way. I'm going to try to see if I can find a replacement for it, but whatever. Whitesnake's 1987 album is when Whitesnake changed the game with their whole band. Before, they were just a regular rock band, but in 1987, they actually got with the times and they became a full-on hair metal band, and that's when things took off for them like crazy. Like, they went back and they changed some of their songs to be a bit more rocky, and they did that for the better. Like, look here, you got songs like Still of the Night. Still of the Night is by far their best song. You got Here I Go Again, their most iconic song out there, and so many more. You got Bad Boys, Give Me All Your Love, Straight for the Heart. So many good songs are on this album, and it's just such a dang good album, man. That's why I gotta put it here. So one more album from 1987 now, and it's not a rock and roll video from the 80s. If we didn't have this album on here. And I know y'all are gonna say, oh, overrated, but freaking Appetite for Destruction, man. Alright, this album is so darn good. Appetite for Destruction is an iconic album from Guns N' Roses, alright? Say what you will about Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 and stuff, and the rest of Guns N' Roses lineup is just frankly not good. Like, I've not listened to Use Your Illusion because I don't really care for those albums, at least I'm not giving them a chance yet, but Appetite for Destruction, man, it is so good. Each song back-to-back bangers. Welcome to the Jungle, It's So Easy, and let's see, Night Train, Mr. Brownstone, I've named off most of the track, Out to Get Me, Paradise City, My Michelle, Sweet Child of Mine, that was apparently an accident. Like, so many good songs from this album are really darn good, man. Like, Guns N' Roses. It's Guns N' Roses, man. Like, come on. Like, what more do you want me to say, alright? So moving on, we're going to go back a couple of years for this one. And the next album that we are going to have here for this one is another Motley Crue album that I really like. And this one is an iconic one. Like, everyone would say this is iconic. And that is Motley Crue's Shout album. Motley Crue's Shout album is the one that definitely launched them back in 1983. This one is the one that really launched their career because it's got a lot of banger tracks on it. Like, you have songs like Looks That Kill, and of course you got their cover of Helter Skelter, Red Hot, Too Young to Fall in Love, Knock 'Em Dead Kid, 10 Seconds to Love. Like, this album truly set Motley Crue out there, and Looks That Kill is my favorite Motley Crue song, and this album, again, it's got a bunch of good stuff on it, and like, dude, like, it's such a good album, man. Like, again, this is one that you can listen to front to back, much like with most of the other ones on here as well. Like, this one, it's just a really darn good album, man. Like, Looks That Kill and Too Young to Fall in Love are two of my favorite ones from this album. Alright, last album for this video today, ladies and gentlemen, and this one is one that I love a lot. It is one of my favorite rock albums of all time from my third favorite rock band of all time, and that is Ratt's Invasion of Your Privacy. Ratt is one of the most underrated rock bands of today. Like, Ratt was very loved back then, but nobody ever talks about Ratt anymore, and they're so darn good. So many great songs. Like, this album opens up with the banger song, You're in Love. You listen to that song when you boot this album up, you know you're in for a dang good time with this. Like, bro, it's so good. Like, from You're in Love to Lay It Down, Give It All, and let's see, I'm trying to read these off as fast as I can. What You Give Is What You Get, Got Me on the Line, You Should Know By Now. Like, so many songs from this are really darn good, man. Like, I wish I had Out of the Cellar here because that one's got some good ones too, like Round and... Alright, quick edit there, sorry about that. I don't know where it cut off, but as I was saying, Ratt's Out of the Cellar is probably one of my favorite rock albums from them, but Invasion of Your Privacy is what I currently own from Ratt, and I love that I own this one. And gosh, one of these days, I'm going to get Out of the Cellar and have it right here as well. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the rock and roll collection for here. As of right now, these are all the favorites that I love to listen to the most in my rock and roll collection that are in the album category, not a greatest hits compilation, not a best of an artist. These are all just pure albums that I like to listen to, whether on Spotify or if it's just my CD collection, but I think I'd show the physical collections that I own and we just go through my actual collection. Now next time, maybe we can go through something else like the greatest hits and whatnot, and what I love the most from those albums and what songs I like the most. I don't know if I'll do another video like this, but hey, those of you that are watching this, if you like this, then let me know and I will be happy to do more physical media type of videos because I have all kinds of stuff that I can do when it comes to my music collection and whatnot. It may not be the biggest music collection, but I definitely might have a thing or two to talk about when it comes to music or just rock and roll. But anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Anyways, I'm out. Bye.